Apparently, we're live now, so that's a plus. So, obviously, we're waiting for people to come in here just because it's a unscheduled stream, just a random one for today for 9/11. We decided that it would be best to do one so this morning.
Octopus Energy, the new star.
And of course, those Octopus Energy ads, we got that going for us. As usual, that's a lovely thing to start the video out with. So, anyway, like I said, today's 9/11. We wanted to do a memorial to it since it's 20th anniversary. And some of you know that watch the show were barely alive at that point, and don't even remember at this point. But at least it's something. So we figured the best thing to drink today was Horse Soldier, of course, the first guys into Afghanistan. Hey, Sam, how's it going? The first guys into Afghanistan after 9/11. And we actually know some of those guys. And at some point in time, hey, Ben, how's it going? Good to see you. And when they come back to DFW, they're actually going to come to the house and do an event with us. But until that point in time, we'll get to do that. So I've got some really cool, fun things here to drink. I'm not going to open a couple of these because these are signed by the guys. But I want to tell some stories. This morning I was down at they have a memorial here I actually worked on here, like probably in the early 2000s. That was, how's it going, Richie? That was the memorial for the actual flight cruise. So that's down there in Grapevine, Texas. And we were down there when they had the flag down there with the big fire trucks and tons of firemen and mostly soldiers and police and all that stuff down there this morning. So that was at 7:30 this morning down there for that. They also had a flyover with the after that for the Lost Man formation with some World War II aircraft, which was really cool. And a little bit later after that, they had the D-Day invasion, actual one that led the D-Day invasion over Normandy. There was a C-47s coming in this morning down Main Street in Grapevine. It was actually really cool. So, yes, you definitely need the Horse Soldier Bourbon. It's quite good as well. But I've got a little video I took of it. I think I can share it with you guys of the D-Day aircraft. Hey, Dom, how's it going? And then we'll talk about a little bit more memory here. Let's see if I can share screen. All right, let's see. Windows, entire screen, share. Yes, share audio. Okay, now. Okay, yes, I want to share. I don't know what it's doing. It's being stupid. Typical technical difficulties is the way it usually goes. Shares grayed out for some reason. Fantastic. How about anything? That's cool. I just want to show the entire screen, but whatever. Anyway, I'll try to post it somewhere else for you guys to see the actual C-47s coming through. But anyway, so yeah, I think most of us probably know where we all were on that morning. I know I was in college at the point in time and got a call from no, I have not, Sam. So I'm going to talk to Bob and to Mark instead because their rep has not been good about contacting back at all. So just going to talk to them directly at this point because it seems pointless. But anyway, so like Sam was probably like 5 when this happened. But, for us older folks that are almost 40, we remember exactly where we were that morning. Like I said, I was in my dorm room in college and we were getting a phone call from the girl I was dating at the time. And that a plane or something had hit the first tower. And so obviously you get to see a lovely, as the second plane crashed into the other tower, to see that live. So that was, such a great morning, to say the least, I think, for all of us. You're welcome, Ben, no problem. Hey, Emily, how's it going? So, exactly, thankfully, everyone did survive. So I actually got some crazy stories about the actual towers as well. So 2 stories. I got a couple of cousins that were supposed to be there that day. My first cousin, he was a chef and had an interview with the, was a Windows to the World he actually had an interview with the head chef there that morning. And it was supposed to be 8 a.m. So obviously he would have been, and that's in the very top of the tower. He would have obviously died because it would have been no way down. Everything was crushed from the plane down. And above that plane was just fucked, and unfortunately they passed. So he got a call the night before to change his interview to 2 p.m. that day. So thankfully he survived because of that. And my other story is my cousin, who's FDNY, he switched shifts with a buddy that morning to take his 2 daughters to the doctor's office that morning. And so he's from ladder 3. Ladder 3, pretty much half that house, his entire shift died. Half that house passed away that day. He was supposed to be in that tower. But he says so as he was driving in across the bridge, the towers came down as he actually was finishing taking his kids to the doctor that morning. So yeah, that's pretty. He had a lot of horrible survival guilt and a lot of other horrible things had to deal with after that. Unfortunately, but that's just the way it goes with all these things. Yeah, it's pretty scary, Donner Pass. How's it going? It's been 20 years. I know it's something else. So yeah, those are my two pretty wild, insane stories about surviving the towers. So it's a big plus. Unfortunately, he lost half his crew, so it's really a shame. And his ladder 3 truck is actually in the museum down there. Is their truck is partially crushed and everything when this towers came down. So yeah, it's pretty wild. Canadian Tire working inside the auto shop. Yeah, I mean that's the next question. Where was everybody else? On 9/11. Where were you guys that day? So that's a good question. This isn't going to be a long one because later on today we're going to go see Lee Greenwood sing this afternoon. Him, so this should be very interesting to see. Especially for 9/11, so an appropriate person that has to be in town for the remembrance today. Yes, and the only reason, and like Emily says, that Michael is the chef and the only reason he survived was because he was there early that day and he had to take his eyeglasses to lens crafters, and he hadn't gone to lens crafters. Usually he was at the top of the tower at that point in time and he would be dead, but because he happened to be downstairs with the lens crafters, he's still alive. So it's pretty wild that that's the case. That it is amazing, and thankfully, that the planes did come in early that day rather than later. Because if they come in later today, those towers have been full. Usually, there's 50, 60,000 people in each tower minimum, and thankfully, that was not the case. That they only lost what we did. So that's the one big plus out of that day. So there's no great things about it. Obviously, that's everything got shut down that day. There was nothing else on the going on the TV. Every channel, no matter what channel you had it on, was on those towers and on the Pentagon later that day. And then obviously in Shanksville, when the plane went to the passengers, the first people to fight back against the terrorists going down in Shanksville into the ground. But thank God they did that because that was aimed for the Capitol. So, they saved a lot of lives doing that. Unfortunately, sacrificed their own, but that's what real heroes do: is they sacrifice for others. And that's what a lot of them. That's why the FDNY was going up those towers that day, not down. So they and God knows how many lives those guys saved. Maybe they gave their own, but thankfully they saved their own. Oh wow! So Donald says, I'll put this up on here, that my uncle narrowly missed the planes hitting the towers because of a business meeting being moved later. He was on his way to the reception when the planes hit. Oh my gosh! Yeah, see, and it's amazing, how many times did God save people that day by changing, a meeting, or change that you had to take a kid to the optometrist, because a lot of guys, they don't have dads anymore because of that. Unfortunately, of course, they've made some movies about United 93 and. They've made World Trade Center, of course, and then 12 Soldier, of course, is what happened after the towers. And like we said, so I am going to start with, the original one, which is the Rye version. I can't remember the mash bills. There's a whole stream we had them on with their ambassador, which you guys can go back and take a look at. So, it's the whole thing, Gore Burning America. Yeah, I don't remember what channel I watched. I remember it was on every channel. It didn't matter what channel it was on. There was nothing else on TV that day. Because I remember, that, and I remember I still went to class that day because I didn't cancel classes. They didn't cancel classes till noon. I had a class, I think, at 10. So I was in class for a couple hours. And after that, they were gone. The rest of the day, their classes were canceled. And then I remember we had a fraternity meeting that evening. And I remember Bush speaking as I was going on the way to the meeting. One of the, we call it TV stations had it on all over the buildings. We had TVs. And that's, I remember watching his address the nation that evening. So it was interesting. He was a representative of New York for Nikon. Oh, okay, that's pretty well. Yeah, but seeing exactly the 12 strong. Yeah, so one of the cool things is, like I said, I have a couple signed bottles. Actually, so in the movie, their names they couldn't use their real names; it was classified. But those real guys are Mark Nutshell and Bob Pennington, which are the main characters. Which is Chris Hemsworth's the character, which is Mark, and then Bob Pennington plays Hal in the movie because they, like I said, at the time their names were classified. Now they're declassified who they are now, so they thankfully can put their name on things. But then this, which I don't know if we'll ever open this. This is the Commander Select, which is their big one. This is the one they put out for charity every year, but it's all signed by them and everything. So, but it's pretty wild that we have that. Then here's the bottle too. All right. And this Also, oops, I want to touch that. I'll show you guys the coin that it comes with. And then this is also signed by them. So it's pretty wild. But then actually when they come, they're going to bring some of the actual orders from that, which will be very amazing. Because they weren't in this box, so he's going to bring me some of his real ones. So that's really, really cool. Nice of Bob to bring those. And it also comes with a challenge coin, which is really cool. So there we go. So it comes with that cool challenge coin as well. So, oh, here's the back. Of course, it's from American Freedom Distillery. Hey, Christmas on Crossline, how's it going? All right, so that's that. So anyway, like I said, this is the rye mash bill one. Oh, you're welcome. Like I said, I think everybody here knows the military is near and dear to our heart because my dad was in 20 years. Of course, after 9/11, he went over there to both Iraq and Afghanistan multiple times to those lovely shitholes that they are. And that colossal fuck up that's currently going on over there and getting people killed and executed murdered by the lovely Taliban who should all be wiped off the face of the fucking earth. Because that's what those animals deserve. Anyway, so I just want to say cheers to all of our fallen fellow Americans in the towers and all of our soldiers that died after the war on terror. And God willing, we vanquish them when the son of a bitch that's there currently is out of office. So anyway, you were at work when it happened? Yeah. Both towers were still standing and thought the filming must begin. Yeah. It's pretty scary. Of course, nobody knew they were going to fall. We obviously saw the fire there. We didn't figure they would fall. But of course, that massive heat and gas jet fuel, leaking down the elevator shafts, just, heated up so fast, it just caused the steel to melt, which is insane. So one of the things, also reason I chose Horse Soldier for today is the cast that is used to make these is 9/11 steel. So 9/11 steel, so they makes these bottles. And then over in the Commander Select, the metal plate on it is 9/11 steel. So which is pretty cool that that's the case. So there's not many times in your life you're going to get to hold a piece of nut from the actual tower. So it's pretty wild. But yeah, not exactly what I think we could all do without things like that. So, but anyway, he did it. So these two guys are obviously special forces. Scott Neal's also assigned on the other one, and they have this amazing. Obviously, they make this stuff in Ohio, West Middlebrook Spirits there in Ohio, and then they take it down to St. Petersburg, where their distillery is, where they make their other spirits like vodkas and gins and other things. But like I said, eventually Bob and Mark will both be here, and we're going to be doing a Bourbon and War Stories night with them when they get to come here to DFW to the house. We'll have them in person, so that'll be really. I don't expect any of us to say a whole lot that evening. I'll pretty much just turn it over to them, let them say whatever they want. So this should be a really wild thing. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen 12 Strong, it's a really, really good movie. It's something I think every American should really see, just to kind of see that crap. But I mean, horses hadn't really been used in a lot of our wars really since World War I. We used them a little bit in World War II to move stuff around, especially up in the mountain regions, like guerrilla warfare up in Italy and a lot in like Burma and places like that in the Philippines, because you couldn't get tanks around there. You needed to get your stuff in. So same thing in obviously Afghanistan, it's it's mountains. It's just all mountains, and it's just a terrible area as far as trying to get vehicles, and so horses are their main mode of transportation there. It's just you can't do vehicles. It just doesn't work. And somehow those guys left all pretty much bruised and battered and shot, but somehow they all lived through that, which is amazing. They only lost one guy that was a CIA operative. They don't talk about him in the movie as far as that he was lost. When I was talking to Bob, he was telling me about it, that they did lose a guy that was a CIA operative in that battle that they show in the movie. But, it is amazing what those 12 guys actually accomplished, destroying all that stuff and taking those guys out. And then to see this stuff in the last couple of weeks is just sickening. 20 years of this, and then we come back. I said, we'll have to go back and finish this job because there's nothing else we can do. And this time, instead of nation building, just kick their asses and leave. Be done with this shit. That's a different day for a different story for a different day. Yes, Italy, Philippines, yeah, horses, yeah. So, and that's the thing is, a lot of people, being from Texas, most of us know how to ride horses, but a lot of people, if they've never grown up around them, they don't really have a clue what to do with them. Here, it's just, if you've been here most of your life, there's a really good chance you know how to ride a horse. Yes, it is, Ben. It's horrible. I'm very displeased, especially like I said, from a big family. All of our family's been over there multiple times. It really, really pisses us off, to say the least. And I can only imagine how Bob and Mark and the other guys feel right today. I can't even imagine. I haven't bothered to text them to ask because I don't think it's really our place. Certainly not today either, especially. I'm sure in the next couple of weeks I'll talk to them. Hey, and Eric is also a veteran. I want to thank you, Eric, for your service. If you guys haven't checked out Eric Waite's Whiskey Studies, please check him out as well. But what were you doing on 9/11, Eric Waite? Love to know. And like I said, Ben's livid as a Canadian, as you should be, because you guys have Canadian soldiers over there that helped us out, and I'm sure you're probably gone by now, as like everyone else is. But we've got plenty of other nations that were there helping us, as they should be, because it wasn't just us that have been attacked. I mean, you just have had guys have had attacks in Canada, all over Europe have had attacks. I mean, these assholes aren't going to stop. They're going to keep coming and coming until every one of those little bastards is dead. Which there's no other way to treat a terrorist except to kill them. That's the only way. The only kind of good terrorist is a dead terrorist. It's quite easy how you deal with them. But anyway, all right. So let's switch on over to the 95. That's the 95. So then they switches over to a wheated version as the 95. Good pop though. All right, let's see what we got here. And I do know this happens to be really good. It's not my first time with this stuff, but it is really quite good whiskey, and all very pretty affordable. They're between $50 for the basic one, I think 65 and 75. So they're all super reasonable. All right, so Eric says I was eating breakfast. Turned on the TV, and the first tower had been hit, and then I saw the second tower hit on TV. Yep, exactly. I think that's how a lot of us happens that day. So we all saw the second plane get hit, in live, which was horrifying. All right. Ooh, so we got Welsh Toro says, I live in Birmingham, which has the only super hospital in the UK. It's where they send the seriously wounded soldiers from Afghan and Iraq. We often see helicopters taking. Oh, wow. That's pretty wild. Says Dakota, Florida sheriff, unload the clip because evil can be dead enough. Exactly correct, Christmas on Crestline. That is the correct answer. So, like I said, it's just it's been a really. Hey, Trev, there's another fellow veteran, was our buddy Trev Wilson. You guys haven't checked out the Bourbon Rents, please check out his channel as well. Another awesome guy. Like I said, salute your service as well, Trev. I'm assuming based on the time that Trev's been in service that he's probably been to both these shitty countries. So, lovely places to visit. Any time of year, I'm sure Afghanistan's wonderful. And who the hell pulls out in the middle of the fucking fighting season? I mean, Jesus, if you're going to pull out, at least fucking leave in wintertime when the little assholes are holed up. So, because I guess they said they found a report, they had a executed police officer. They cut off his head. That's super. They did that, I guess, a few days ago. And then they have it on TV and they filmed it because, that's what terrorists do, is a pieces of shit. But hey, whatever. So, it is what it is at this point in time. But God willing, I know we do have a lot of special forces that are going there on their own reconnaissance right now, getting people out. Thank God. But they shouldn't even be having to get anyone out. They should just destroy the enemy and be done with this shit. Come on, these are freaking little pissant terrorists. Instead of being nice to them and talking about how, being friendly, just blow them up. They do not understand anything except being dead. Being dead is the only way to deal with them. Shitty countries are still not as bad as Berkeley, California. That might be true, unfortunately, based on the whack jobs that live out there. There's no doubt about that. Maybe you could get lucky and the San Andreas can crack. I don't know if it's on the San Andreas. If it is, maybe it can fall in. That'd be great. Oh my God, dude. Donner Pass, this is terrible. All right, Donner says, on 9/5, I lost a job when I was in for 8 years. On 9/8, depressing birthday. 9/11, woke up while the clock was talking about the first one and got turned on TV and saw the second planet. Jeez. Sorry to hear that. That's awful. I know Donner Pass, I'm pretty sure, is also a veteran, so I want to thank him for his service as well. Let's see. What about Benny? Yeah, Bagram. I mean, goddamn. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. So now you got Bagram, which is also on the border with China, who, by the way, is now going into Afghanistan, and they're taking over shit because guess what they want? They want the lithium, and they want the other minerals that are in Afghanistan. So that'll work out great. And don't worry, terrorists never lie. They would never say anything that would be possible. Oh, we'll take care of them. Oh, actually shoot them, or hang them from helicopters, other horrible ass things these assholes have done. All right. Well, that's very nice there. On a nice note, heading out to the best French bistro for dinner tonight. Then I'm off to the best restaurant. Well, that sounds great. At least that'll be a good thing. Donald, hope you have a great time tonight. Hello, multicasting. Good to see you. Hello, Jeffrey Wack. Ah, okay. So Iraq and Iraq before you got in. Okay, Trev. I forget how young you are, Trev. That's a good point. Have you been to Afghanistan at all, or did you thankfully not have to go to those crap holes? So there's just a lot of fucked up shit that we're gonna see a lot more horrible things unfortunately on TV in the next coming weeks that I don't think any of us really want to see. I haven't seen in a long time. So yeah, it should be really super fun. At least this whiskey is really good whiskey. Thank God. See, well, sources I worked with the wives of some Iraqi doctors that had fled from the chaos of Iraq War. They had to leave their families. Yeah, see, and that's terrible. And that's the problem. A lot of people are having to decide between their families or not whether they can leave. I mean, I think we've all seen the pictures and the videos of the people at the airport not being let in. I mean, what the hell is wrong with the people? I mean, I don't blame the guys on the ground. It's the assholes above them telling them, "Oh, you can't let them in." I'm sorry, they're going to be killed, and I'm sure a lot of them by now are dead. So it's just horrible. And then the other thing is, why did we not blow every single piece of equipment up we had there? I mean, we don't leave that kind of shit. The problem is then they're going to give to the fucking Chinese, and they're going to reverse engineer, and they're going to have weapons to destroy our Apaches and things like that. I mean, what the hell is wrong with these people? A lot. But anyway, yes, so this is a delicious whiskey, to say the least. Thank God for that. Mm. All right. Well, that's a plus, Eric. See, here's a nice note. Eric says, we finally got some rain on Thursday, so we got a clear blue sky. I just went home for a nice bike on wine country. Oh, see, that's a plus, Eric. Very nice. So Eric, okay, so then Trev says, went to Afghanistan in 2014. Nothing ever happened. I had a better time on the border of Russia later that same year. Well, at least you had that going for you. So that's a plus. At least you didn't have to see any lovely Taliban, so that's a plus in your life. What kills me is the fact that any Taliban are still living. It's like, instead of nation building, well, why didn't you just kill them all? And then we can play that game. But, we wouldn't want logic to dictate here. Anyway, all right. So let's switch over now to the cask strength. This particular one is 114 proof. So this is also with the wheated mash bill. And it's really, really good. That's a hell of a pop on there. That's very nice. All righty. Here we go. Let's drink some good old cask strength. Yes, Trev, unfortunately, this is true. Rules of engagement. Yeah, good point. Donald says, I lived along the route that was along the Highway of Heroes here. All the dead from Afghanistan were brought to the coroner's office here in downtown, so I would often see the processions. Oh, wow. That's pretty wild. Oh, there's no doubt, Jake. Unfortunately, that's true too. Is you're dealing with the is the maximum amount of the jobs that can be created for the Defense Department. Without war, you can't be building more airplanes and more tanks and more ships and all the other crap they want to build. So, and of course, Eisenhower talked about this about the military-industrial complex, and that's the problem. Is you have this military-industrial complex. I mean, both my brothers work for the Defense Department as defense contractors. So, for Lockheed and for Simstar. And because of that, they see this shit all the time. It's like, oh, well, it's just all this crap. So, and you're right, Jake. There's different problems. There's different reasons for both parties having the fucking problems they're having. And like I said, needed anything, just kill the little bastards. Problem solved. I don't really give a shit about their fucking feelings. They don't have feelings as far as I'm concerned. They're not even fucking people. They're animals. Yeah. Yeah, it says Taliban didn't wear a uniform. Once we show up, all their flags fall over TV, disappear. They hide in plain sight. We can't do anything. Well, we could if we had some people with some fucking balls and they would, remove them from the other side. That'd be great. But we wouldn't. God forbid we had to be mean to terrorists. Oh no, we know little fuckers are. Kill them. I don't want to be nice to any of them. We're done. It's just stupid. It doesn't matter. It's as an American in general, there are no good things. There's no good terrorists. They're not. They're horrible people, and they all deserve to die. It's that simple. But yes, they don't wear uniforms because they're a bunch of pansy asses, and they hide behind women and children when it's convenient, and then they murder them when it's not. Because God forbid women, show their, show ankles or anything else. It's just too sexy, or they fucking learn because we wouldn't want them to learn anything. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, so at least this is good. Oh, and then they vote. Yeah, they got that's right. See, no, we wouldn't want them to vote. God forbid they do that, or run for their. I don't know if they have a Congress or Parliament. I forget what theirs is called over there in Afghanistan. But God forbid they be in there, be an elected official. Oh no, it's horrible. So yeah, we got that going for us. Wouldn't possibly want them to have to do that. Wouldn't want to possibly join the 21st century, but whatever. Being in the 8th century barbarian seems better. Great plan, guys. Great plan. There are lots of, that are normal people that are that religion. Unfortunately, those ones are not. They're monsters. But hey, hopefully someday, because there are a tremendous amount of great Afghans. Obviously, the Northern Alliance and all those guys are really fantastic people. I mean, hell, that's the reason we armed the Mujahideen against the Russians back then. I mean, that's what the hell fucking Rambo 3 was about. The whole damn movie is dedicated to the brave Afghanis defeating the Soviets. I mean, that's the whole point. But, those weren't the assholes that are trying to kill everyone. It's the fucking Taliban. I just don't understand why the hell they allow them to still exist on the face of the earth. But whatever. Shocking, isn't it there? Yeah, Ben says, heard about the White House member shocked the lack of diverse of the Taliban. Like, what did you expect? Oh, shocker? Real shocker. There's no women in there. They're all Afghanis. Yeah, that's not a surprise. It's Afghanistan. They're horrible, and they're all terrorists. So you got that going. Oh, but we also traded that piece of shit, Bo Bergdahl, traitorous piece of garbage that he is, for other pieces of shit Taliban who are now in charge. Shocker. You trade a piece of shit for another piece of shit, so you get the same thing. And now the asshole's in charge. Oh, lovely. He's had, like Don says, he had family members killed or wounded by the IRA, terrorists, no boundaries. Exactly. They don't give a shit. Yeah, for real, right, Eric? Where's the Avengers unit? Where's fucking Tony Stark? Yeah, Tony, where the fuck is your weapons? Exactly. Good point. Yeah, no music, no television, regulation, beard length, and women are treated like chattel. Yep, that sounds about right, Welsh Toro. Sounds about right. Can't have music, can't have TV, can't learn anything, can't have theaters. It's so sad. It's just like, what the hell? I mean, what is, God forbid, so awful about these things? I mean, I realize because they have a fucking insane sense of their retarded religion, but whatever. Because maybe we should reform it like normal Muslims do, and not have this crap. They actually let the women out in public. It's shocking that there's plenty of normal people that are like that too, that are Muslim, that live in this country, that are normal. Unfortunately, these ones are not. At least 4 to 6 Taliban and senior of the government that were in your Cuban prison. Oh, absolutely. My problem is there shouldn't have been a Cuban prison because they should be dead. Or some horrible black site that they never see the light of day, that no one knows they went, and I don't care. They should just disappear off the face of the earth, and no one should ever know what happened to the pieces of shit. They have regulations for women's beards. Wouldn't surprise me if they are the Taliban. Wouldn't surprise me. Who knows? Then again, you'd have to get underneath the burqa and find out. But they like that whole beekeeper look. It's dead sexy as far as they're concerned. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter what they look like over there because you can never see them. So what's the difference as far as they're concerned? It's just ridiculous. Just freaking ridiculous. Yeah, release during prisoner exchange. Exactly. You should just drop a fucking Moab on them and be done with it. That's what ICBMs are for. Things like that. That's also what nukes are for. But we wouldn't want to offend anyone by nuking a horrible fucking regime that shouldn't exist. But whatever, China. Now China's going to, like I said, China's going to go in there and take all their shit. So that'll work out well. Have a good time with that. Like I said, at least we got good whiskey going for us. And to say the least, there was a lot of really pissed off people at the 9/11 memorial this morning talking about this exact same issue, to say the least. After you have the somberness and remembering everyone, this other shit. Yeah, how I really feel. Oh, Eric, it could get so much worse, don't you know? It could get so much worse. Hey, Steve A, how's it going? Good to see you. How I really feel, you don't want to know. It can get worse, much worse. And there'll be a lot of swearing, and it'll get much worse. You don't want to hear about the horrible things I want to do to those people. Nuking them is just being kind. We would do much more horrible things to them. I mean, only the things that they've done to the women and to their other enemies, bury them in the sand, throw rocks at them, because God forbid they were outside with a woman with someone that wasn't, they were unaccompanied, or they're with a man that wasn't part of their family, or God forbid, like I said, they showed an ankle or some other fucking ridiculous thing. Oh, we should stone them. That's talent. Oh, they read a book, must be stoned. We must shoot them in the head. That's brilliant. Yeah, it's super lovely. Ah, yes, the James Pepper single bro. That's a very nice one, Crystal Tress line. They all look like bottles of Guinness. Marry the woman, lift the dress, and see a big hairy pair of balls. Then what would you do? Well, unfortunately, you say that, Donald. A lot of them like that. There's unfortunately, a very bad rape culture in Afghanistan as well. As they call it, man boy love Thursdays in Afghanistan. They have it a lot. It's a really, really bad problem there, unfortunately. That they are also a lot of pedophiles. It's really fucked. It's a really fucked up country. I don't not be sensitive to other cultures. Yeah, I don't really give a shit. I'll not be sensitive to anyone because that's why we're Americans. Fuck all of them. I don't care. See, and that's how real Americans act. They don't give a shit about other cultures. They because we're Americans and ours is the best. They don't give a shit about anyone else's. It matters to the woman, though. A tiny, dangerous act of protest during the first time period was that a brave Afghan woman would wear makeup underneath their burqa. At least, yeah, I mean, that's something, I guess, Wellsboro. That helps, I guess, if that makes them feel better. Unfortunately, I'm sure if the Taliban figured that out, unfortunately, I'm sure they'd be killed, which is just fucking horrible. Because God forbid they wear makeup, because, it's so evil. That evil makeup, I'm sure that Revlon and L'Oreal are just terrible companies for making it. Terrible. Yeah, exactly. I'm sensitive to any culture that treats people like, people. Yeah. They don't treat them like people. They treat them like, animals, because they are animals. So, like I said, they must go. They must go soon. But God knows when that'll happen. Because, we left. It's a great plan. Great plan. So, like I said, it's only going to get worse. It is. I think I need more cast strength whiskey. That I definitely need at this point. So, so anybody else have any? I don't think there's any actually fun stories about 9/11 per se, or I guess people being saved. I guess that's the best thing to talk about on this day. I mean, we had that going. Obviously, had plenty of people that ended up joining the military because of 9/11 after that, and things like that, and want to go to lovely places no one wants to go to. But we shall see. Yeah, because my brother-in-law, he was in Iraq last when they had the big attack when I guess when it was Iran attacked the Iraqi base over there. That's we killed their bastard ass general that got what he deserved from the Quds forces. So that's all. One of the biggest terrorists in the world. He got exactly what he deserved, a hellfire up his ass. Oh, well, there's yet and see, and here's another problem. Exactly. Hearing stories of Canadians and Americans and our allied troops suffering from PTSD because of witnessing our Afghan allies raping children, being told to stand down and do nothing. Yeah. Oh, exactly. Colonel Alan West, who actually had to, I don't know if he shot the guy or just slapped the shit out of him when he stopped guy from doing that shit. And as far as I'm concerned, she put a bullet in their head. Anyone who does that shit to children should be shot and killed as well. I have no sympathy for fucking child molesting pieces of shit, let alone rapists, because they're pieces of shit and deserve to be treated as such. Shot and killed, be done with. Don't need it. If you see that in the act, just be shot and killed, be done. Just walking in an early morning shift, couple of hours recorded from TV news and video cassette tapes. Yeah, it's super fucking lovely. It's just horrible. Yeah, I understand why that's so great. Please explain to me what a great culture that is to do shit like that. It displeases me, to say the least. It doesn't matter what culture you're from. If you're doing that kind of crap, you deserve to die. There's no excuse, none whatsoever. You're not an ant. You're just a fucking animal. That's what cats do. Okay, outside, you hear that's what cats do. Not humans, cats, or other, beasts that are out there because they deserve nothing. Just terrible, terrible fucking people. But yeah, thank God, Colonel West is actually going to be running for governor here in Texas, so I'm excited about that. So that'll be cool. So God willing, he will be our next governor. I can only hope. Well, and that's true. Afghanistan's requirement always has been. Every country or empire that's got involved has been chewed up and spat out. No doubt about that. Unfortunately, and that's true. That's been true. Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, obviously the British, the Soviets. It's just no one's unfortunately be able to. Unless I think someone's really willing to just not give a shit and just nuke the piss out of them, or some other just use so much. We're basically the only way to fix a terrorist, besides killing them for obvious reasons, is you have to terrorize the terrorist. Where it's so bad to be a terrorist, like I said, you bring down a tower, we blow up a town. It's just that fucking simple. There's a great movie about that. I think when it came out, it's like 01, 02. It's called Swordfish, and that talks about how to deal with terrorists, and that's exactly the correct answer. Is you make it so bad that it's no one left to terrorize because we've either killed all of you, or if the consequences are so severe, it's the end. You need to do any rabid animal, put them down with the extreme prejudice. Exactly, Steve. Exactly. Oh, yes. Colonel West is fantastic. No doubt about it. Oh, that is really, really stellar whiskey, though. So if you guys haven't tried the Horse Soldier, it is fantastic stuff. Yes, I liked the John Travolta Hugh Jack movie. Exactly, that one and I think Halle Berry I think's in it. Yeah, from a long time ago. It's a really good movie from back then. But yeah, that's how you deal with them. There is no other solution. You can't deal with that any other way. Needless to say, I'm very pissed off today. But not that any of you are surprised by this. So hopefully, like I said, this evening with the concert, hopefully that'll at least make it somewhat better. Because I know they're having a bunch of police and firefighters doing a basically they're doing their music prior, and then they get the name of the other girl that's coming. Let's just make sure look real quick what her name is. It is, what's her name? Let's see. Dina Carter. And I don't know if you guys are into country music or not, but Strawberry Wine's one of the songs that she sings. Like I said, then Lee Greenwood as well, so it should be interesting. True, Welps Toro. That's possible, but only do it to them what they deserve, and that's what will happen to them, God willing, someday. It's okay. In the long run, they will burn in hell where they belong forever. So we got that going for us. So yeah, but I'll have to leave here soon, and it'll probably go for about another 10, 15 minutes, and then I have to end this and go drive over to where the concert's at and all that fun stuff. So sunscreen up, because I burn like there's no tomorrow, even though it's I guess it'll be 5 o'clock or something we get there. So fun times with burning. So the only of us going to bring in a couple of waters, so we'll have to buy some other thing. They say regarding not becoming the monster you're hunting down and destroying. Yes. After that, you have to be done. Yes, Steve. We do appreciate it. Yeah, and also I don't want to cut into Shayla's time either. So I know she goes live here in about 13 minutes on her regular show. So I think it's her last stream before she goes to Lisbon or something for like a month. So that'll be fun, I'm sure, as always. Alrighty. But, so, good fun times. Yeah, like I said, there's an unplanned stream that just decided would be a good fun time to do between this morning and all the ceremonies and then this. So, yeah, somebody got to figure out how to load up the actual. Maybe I can just make its own little stream of it. It's like I said, it's a 32-second clip. I can just add it as a little video of the planes going down Main Street this morning from those C-47s. I think so. That would be fun to do that. But you guys at least can see it, since I can't figure out how to unfortunately load up the share screen, which I don't understand why, because I've had to use it before. It's just for whatever reason, it's not. Wait a second. Maybe I can get it. Hold on. Oh, maybe I can. Hold on a second. Let me see if this will play. And there it is. Actually, here you guys go. It works.
Good. I hope you did. I hope you got a good picture of the bottom. Because I did.
So yeah, there we go. We got it to work. So there you go. There's the flyover of the C-47s this morning. So those are exactly. In fact, that lead aircraft was the very first one. That was the lead aircraft on D-Day, taking the paratroopers in against those Nazi bastards. But imagine seeing thousands of those aircraft all at one time, paratroopers coming out of them. That must have been a fun time. So that's what those Nazi bastards got. So that's good. Oh yes, there's lots of passion. No doubt about that. Yeah, so I don't know, but it was really cool to see those C-47s in flight this morning. But they flew all over DFW, so if you guys anybody got a chance to see them, hopefully, if not, hopefully that was something for you guys to see. But it was really cool to see that in person. But that was from Main Street in Grapevine. But yeah, if I can share that, I can probably share this car that. See if I can share. Not a. Well, I can show. Let's see here. I can load up. There's this really cool car this guy made that. Let's see here. Let's pop this up. I think I know what I can do. I can drag it into the thing here for you guys to see it. He unfortunately has passed away, but after 9/11, he had his car made up. Let me. There we go. Let me add. Let's see a picture here. Overlay. Okay, let me add this. Here we go. This will work. You guys can see this is really cool. Okay, add that. I'm going to show you a couple things here. I think you guys will like to see. They're pretty cool. Let me do this one. And this is from the fire department holding up the American flag. Was really cool. All right, good. I'm going to get this to work. Good, you guys can see this. All right. So this was this morning out there in Grapevine, and they were holding the flag, and they had some speakers, obviously, out there at the fire captain. And then they had 455 first responders between police and firefighters marching this morning. I've never seen so many police motorcycles. The motorcade was unbelievable this morning. And then obviously fire trucks, ambulances, and tons and tons. And like I said, it's the flight crew memorial. So we got to see the flight crew memorial. That was really interesting to see all those tons of captains and flight attendants out there this morning. And then this is that car I was telling you guys about. Yeah, so he had the back of the car painted up with 9/11. So that was a really great paint job. And he had that. So his buddy that after he passed, I guess gave him this car. And so he had brought it out there today for the tribute this morning. So I thought that was pretty cool. So you don't get to see unique things like that real often in life. So that's pretty wild. Hey, Tony, how's it going? And I want to thank you, Tony, for your donation and picked up a couple of cool bottles of review in your name. So I really appreciate that. Oh, I bet they are, Eric. Eric says, I hear the town's going to build another Disneyland in Kabul. So that can't be bad. It couldn't possibly be bad. That's, they call that, except for their Disneyland involves doing horrible things to people. So in Disneyland for the Taliban, it's like pick your favorite terrorist act. Oh, here's a person you can kill today. Oh, you want to saw off their head? That'll be great. Other horrible things. You want to shoot someone? Great. Want to do that? Hey, there's also helicopter flying lessons I heard where you hang people from them. It's a great time. And you're right. And that is the problem, Donald. Unfortunately, countries don't have the spine to take those bastards the same way they take on the Nazis, in for a pound, in for a penny, in for a pound. You are correct. That's the problem, is they don't have the passion or the backbone to do what it takes, and the media needs to shove it up their ass about what you have to do to get things done in this world. And first of all, you don't show that shit on TV. Second of all, when you vanquish the bastards, you sure go, you say it's a good job, and that's the end of that. So we got that going. You're still trucking, so you're going to listen in. Yes, Tony, I know you're always trucking or doing some other fun things out there in Iowa. Because without you, things don't get where they need to go. It's a good thing to have you guys. But you're right. I think if World War II took place today, they do not have. I think our military certainly has it. I unfortunately don't think the leaders, the PowerPoint leaders that we have, they do not feel like they do not have the balls it takes to do what it needs to be done. And certainly the politicians don't, because God forbid we do anything that possibly hurts some terrible people. Yes. After the first year or two, the U.S. was only about the only country wanted to be useful in Afghanistan. And that may be true too, but you can't nation build. You have to absolutely fucking vanquish the enemy, then you can try and fix it after the fact. If we had some fucking help from the rest of the planet, the current mess wouldn't be happening. Well, that's true too. We would God forbid, we wouldn't want to have to take care of the rest of the world's problems. And they actually, fund their own damn things, unless the fucking UN and all that bullshit. So, oh yes, no doubt that we've definitely had allies there, such as the Czech, the Poles, obviously the English, the Canadians, Scotsmen, Welsh, all those guys were there. Many other countries had soldiers there helping us. So I know Philippines had guys there. Several other countries, Aussies, and lots of other countries were helping out as well. It's just unfortunate, when you send 12 guys, it's helpful. I mean, it's great you sent your 12 guys or whatever, but unfortunately, unless you have massive military, you can't take care of those things, and no one wants to do it. And that's part of the problem is no one wants to take care of the world's problems. They just want to go bury their heads in the sand. Oh, let's just be nice to them. They'll be nice to us. They're terrorists. They're not nice. They're nice to anyone. Yep, we have plenty. And that's exactly right. And that's the problem. I'm sure lots of countries lost good guys, unfortunately, to these horrible people. So, and the problem is we're going to end up back in there because they're going to commit terrorist acts. That's what terrorists do. I mean, that's unfortunate. It's just what they do. They'll do something else horrible because now they have the ability to. One of the good news is we did freeze all the assets of the Afghanistan banks because most of them are in New York, so they don't have access to those billions of dollars. The problem is we like this thing called heroin. Unfortunately, people have this insatiable delight for heroin, and so that's how they fund their shit with. If we would just get rid of the poppy fields and we just, salt them into the earth and they can't grow anything, there's your problem. Then they can't use freaking heroin anymore. That's part of the problem. 90% of the world's heroin comes from Afghanistan. Get rid of the heroin, guess what? They can't fund it anymore. At least it'll have to come from somewhere else. Or if we have an insatiable appetite for fucking drugs, what might be a problem too. I don't know. Stop doing drugs, problem solved. Shocker how that works out. But anyway, there are lots of things we can do to solve this problem, and people are not willing to do the difficult task of getting rid of these types of things. But, like I said, we'll end this in about 4 minutes because I don't want to cut into Shayla's time. So she will go live here and you guys can go over to her stream. Anyway, so there we go. But, so if anyone else has anything else to say, yes, Steve, I believe in you. Meth, legalized and tax drugs, it isn't a huge issue anymore. Well, I don't know. Heroin is not a good thing. There's nothing good about heroin, as far as I'm concerned. It's a terrible, terrible drug. A lot of veterans are questioning why we had the one highest casualty rates and spilled all over there, only to tuck the tail around. Well, exactly, and that's the problem. For no good reason. It's not like they have some amazing fucking army. It's just you just chose to leave. It's not. And that's the problem. Is you could simply have just gotten rid of them. It's crazy, but whatever. There are ways to defeat people, and there are ways that you can just skirt around the edges. And unfortunately, we're playing with skirt around the edges rather than taking care of the problem. You have to destroy them economically, and that really is. That's one of the reasons. Obviously, in World War II, the way you defeated them was by destroying them economically. Besides, obviously, razing all of their buildings and bombing the piss out of them as they clearly deserved. Is you do have to essentially destabilize the civilian population as well, because that's how you win wars. You have to destroy them. They can't have any, power, electricity, nothing of any kind. No oil, no reserves. You just destroy everything. That's how you do it. Oh yes, it's that's things that we don't want to have to do, but that's how you win wars. Is you just destroy the civilian population. There is no other options. And if you do that, it is what it looks. Look at Portugal, huge success story. Okay. I don't know anything about Portugal, but cool. That must be close to something else that I don't know anything about. So, unless you're talking about drugs, maybe that's what you guys are talking about. I don't know anything about Portugal. I just know it's a country in Europe. That's about it. and I know that there was some, Hemingway stuff over there that they dealt with in one of his, was it For Whom the Bell Tolls? That was during the Spanish Civil War. I guess most of it was in Spain, but I believe Portugal was involved a little bit in that book as well. I don't know. It's probably been 20 plus years since I read that one. Not For Whom the Bell Tolls, Farewell to Arms. See, they legalize every drug and regulate. Oh, okay. Did not know that. I knew that the Netherlands had like weed and stuff that was okay to do, but I didn't realize Portugal could let people do all sorts of fun things, apparently. But whatever works for them. But I'm guessing they probably didn't have a cartel problem either that we have. So, I mean, I don't know that. Like I said, I don't know anything about Portugal. And maybe they did, and that's how they took care of that problem. An interesting thing to have to look about. It says, they make really fucking good fortified wine. Now, that's a good... Now, we do know that about Portugal. They do make really good fucking fortified wine. And alternative finishing casks. Valid point. They make great port and Madeira. They do have that. Good point. The important thing about Portugal is port and Madeira. What happens in the rest of the country, I have no idea. So I know that Lisbon was a jumping off point in the movie Casablanca. I know that. So I think that's kind of my knowledge of Portugal. Oh, and they make a lot of cork. I know that too. That's about it. I think that's my vast knowledge of Portugal at this point. But since Shayla's moving there, maybe she can tell, or going there for a trip or whatever she's doing, maybe she can tell us a little about Portugal when she gets back and have to listen and learn about that. My child's running up the stairs. We got that going for us. And running away. So we got that going for us too. All right, so we'll go like another minute or two, and then I'm going to shut this down so that I can go get ready for the concert. So that will be fun. I think my wife took a shower or some shit right now. I don't know. I think it's what she's doing. So, all right, a little bit more of this. And then we will end this stream. And I thank everybody for being on here today and remembering 9/11 and then getting to hear us, rip on the piece of shit Taliban, which was also fun. I do enjoy that. Yes, I know exactly. She's about to start in the next, I assume, next minute or so. Shayla should be starting. So if you guys want to go over to hers, and then on Monday night we are having Black Whiskey here, which is the first whiskey distillery in Peru. We will have their master distiller, and one of their owners will actually be here at my house. So that should be a really fun and interesting. They're also going to bring a lot of experiments with them. And so Black Whiskey uses black corn, which they call purple corn in the United States, which is the same corn that Iron Root uses. So it should be really interesting and fun learning stream on Monday night. So at 9 o'clock. So we want to say cheers to all of our first responders, to our firefighters, police, EMS, and all of our wonderful soldiers that unfortunately passed away in 9/11, and all the ones that are still standing and fighting against the good fight against them on a daily basis. So cheers to all of them. We'll see you guys on Monday night. Cheers.